Remember all that talk about AI companions being like the next big thing?
Yeah.
The future of, well, everything.
Yeah, it was everywhere you looked. Yeah.
Turns out
Yeah.
the future might need a little software update.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are finding out that having an AI friend is, well, a little less
Right.
and a little more frustrating tech support hotline.
It's interesting, isn't it, how quickly we went from all that initial excitement to,
Totally.
taking a hard look at what's actually, like, being delivered.
No.
Are these AI companions living up to the hype?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And nowhere is that more obvious than with character AI.
Right.
That platform everyone and their AI chatbot was going on about.
Uh-huh.
Well, I think it's safe to say the honeymoon phase is officially over.
Yeah.
And it seems like...
Well, as with any new tech that really, grabs the public's attention.
Right.
It's often those early adopters who become the most, vocal critics.
Yes.
They've had time to really dig in, use the platform, see where it falls short.
Absolutely.
And they're not afraid to talk about what's working and what needs a serious overhaul.
Exactly. So for this deep dive, we're going straight to the source. We're diving into the sea of user feedback on character AI.
Okay.
All those forum posts, all those wish I'd known this before rants. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
To figure out what's causing all this buzz.
Yeah, get to the bottom of it.
What's working, what's not, and maybe, just maybe, we'll uncover some larger truths about what we really want from these AI companions.
I like that. Larger truths.
Right.
Yeah.
So, first up on the frustration list, server issues.
Ah, yes. The classic growing pains of a platform that's just trying to keep up with its own success. I mean, when you have this huge influx of users all clamoring to chat with their AI buddies, things are bound to get a little glitchy.
Glitchy is putting it mildly.
Oh, is it worse than that?
Imagine this. You're in the middle of like a deep conversation with your AI companion, right?
Yeah.
Really getting into the meaning of life, the universe, everything.
Okay. Deep stuff.
And bam.
Oh, no.
Server crash. Connection lost. Existential crisis on hold.
That's rough.
Not exactly the seamless, futuristic experience we were promised.
Not at all. It really undermines that sense of, like, immersion that's so important to making the whole AI companion thing work. It's like, trying to get lost in a good book,
right?
But someone keeps ripping out the pages.
The worst. And speaking of things that totally kill the mood, there's a lot of talk about character AI bots all feeling a little too, how should I say this?
Generic.
Yeah, a little too mass-produced.
Yeah, the whole customization aspect seems to be a big sticking point for people. Like, character AI lets you personalize your companion a bit.
Right.
But users are saying it's just not enough. They want to build their ideal AI from the ground up.
Right.
Not just choose from a bunch of preset options.
It's like the difference between ordering takeout and having a personal chef,
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
On one hand, it's convenient, but on the other hand, sometimes you're craving something truly unique.
Yes.
Something that reflects your own individual,
tastes.
And it makes you wonder, what does this whole desire for control in the digital world say about how we connect in the real world?
That's a good question.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's the big one, the thing everyone's talking about when it comes to character AI.
The elephant in the chat room, you mean?
Exactly.
Filter.
The filter.
Yeah.
Character AI's content filter.
Right. That's the one that seems to be causing the most,
frustration.
Yeah, frustration. Like, people are feeling a little held back, like they're having a conversation in a library instead of...
Yes. It's like, come on, this is my AI companion, not my digital librarian.
Yeah.
And look, it's not just about, wanting to role play a scene from an action movie or something.
Right. Although I have to admit, that would be kind of fun.
Right. But it's more about feeling like your creativity is being, stifled.
Yeah.
You can't really explore the full potential of what this AI could be because there are all these rules.
It raises some really interesting questions about, who gets to decide what's acceptable and what's not in these digital spaces?
Right.
Is it the developers who are obviously concerned about ethics and safety and all that?
Right.
Or is it the users who just want the freedom to, explore what AI companionship can really be?
It's like that whole freedom versus security debate, but in the digital world.
Yeah.
With lines of code instead of laws.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, is there a platform out there that's willing to, loosen the reins a little?
Right.
To give users that sense of unfettered exploration they seem to be craving.
Well, that's where Candy AI enters the chat.
Candy AI.
Candy AI. And they are promising a very different kind of experience. We're talking personalized, unfiltered AI companionship.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but also a little, little skeptical. I mean, it sounds a little too good to be true, right?
Okay, so full disclosure, when I first heard about Candy AI, I was right there with you. I was like, come on, this has got to be some kind of,
marketing ploy.
Yeah, marketing ploy. But then I started digging into the tech a little bit, and I got to say, things got interesting.
Okay, so what makes Candy AI so different? What are they doing that character AI isn't?
Well, for starters, the way they're approaching customization is on a whole other level. We're not just talking about tweaking a few settings here and there.
Yeah.
We're talking about building your AI companion from the digital ground up.
From scratch.
From scratch. Like, you get to choose everything. And I mean everything.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Okay, so we're talking physical appearance, hair color, eye color, height, weight, you name it.
Okay.
You can even get into, like, the nitty-gritty details, like, do they have freckles, dimples?
Wow.
Right? And that's just the beginning. You get to shape their personality, their interests, their quirks.
So I could have an AI companion who's like a brilliant astrophysicist, but also has a fear of squirrels?
Exactly. If that's what you want, Candy AI says go for it.
That's a lot of control.
It is. And honestly, it's a little, like...
Overwhelming?
Yeah, a little overwhelming. Like, at what point do we cross the line from, playful creation to playing God?
Right. That's a whole other deep dive waiting to happen.
Totally. Yeah. But for now, let's stick to the tech, because this is where Candy AI's claims get really wild. They say their AI companions don't just respond to your prompts, they actually learn from them.
Okay, now that is interesting. Because that's always been the holy grail of AI, right? To create something that can learn and adapt and grow with you, not just spit out pre-programmed responses.
Exactly. It's the difference between chatting with a chatbot and having a conversation with someone who actually, gets you.
Someone who remembers what you like, what you don't like, someone who you feel like actually listens to you.
Right. And Candy AI claims to achieve this through a whole bunch of fancy tech stuff, natural language processing, machine learning algorithms, the whole shebang.
So it's not just about keywords and triggers anymore?
Nope. They're saying their AI is actually analyzing your language, your intent, even your emotions, and using all that information to become a better, more personalized companion.
Wow. Which, on the one hand, is amazing, but on the other hand...
Hold on, let me guess. Privacy concerns.
Bingo. I mean, if this AI is learning everything about you, where is all that data going? Who has access to it?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
And Candy AI is very quick to assure users that they take privacy very seriously, that all your data is encrypted and secure and blah, blah, blah.
Right, right. But it does make you think, as these AI companions become more sophisticated, more integrated into our lives, how do we find that balance between, wanting that personalized connection and protecting our privacy?
It's a tough one, for sure. But before we spiral down the whole privacy rabbit hole, there's one more thing about Candy AI we need to, unpack.
Okay, what's that?
It's a big one, especially for those who, like to craft their own, narrative.
You mean the whole role-playing aspect?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's definitely a game changer. When you combine that level of hyper-customization with, the whole no filters approach to content.
Right.
You're basically giving users the keys to their own, digital theater.
It's true. Forget those choose-your-own-adventure books, right?
Right.
This is like having a whole team of improv actors at your fingertips, ready to play out any scenario you can dream up.
It really taps into something, fundamental in us, don't you think? This urge to tell stories.
Oh, totally.
To explore different versions of ourselves, to see what happens if we could just, hit rewind on real life.
It's like we're hardwired for what if, and Candy AI is handing us the ultimate what if machine, which I have to say is both amazing and kind of terrifying.
Yeah, it brings us right back to those ethical questions, doesn't it?
Totally. Because when you take away all the rules, all the boundaries, you're basically asking if we could create the perfect AI companion.
Right.
One that's literally programmed to fulfill our every need.
Yeah.
What does that say about us?
It's a big question.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's an easy answer.
Nope. And it's a question that's only going to get bigger, I think, as AI gets more and more,
advanced.
So we covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, explored some exciting possibilities, but also, bumped up against some pretty big questions.
As it should be. That's what a good deep dive is all about, right? Getting people thinking, sparking a conversation.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, the most important conversations we're going to have about AI aren't going to be with the AI itself.
Yeah.
They're going to be with each other. So Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Candy AI. And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those AI companions on their best digital behavior.